Ladies and gentlemen, and ladies, what a headache. I don't know why, for some reason, my show or some reason, StreamYard, every now and again, it says that there's applications that are holding up my video so I can't open it up. I mean, shut the computer down, turn it around, turn it over, flip it over, throw it away, buy a new one, bring it in here, and it's still messed up. But I finally figured it out. And so thank you for your patience with me. Somebody said before we started, it's going to take a little bit to get the guests in because we just have to send the link out because it finally started working. But somebody said in the comment section, Brandon, I'm glad you stood up to that guy who was trying to bully you at the store. Now, he wasn't trying to bully me. Well, I think he thought he was trying to bully me. But at the end of the day, he ain't bullying nothing. And if y'all didn't hear about it, I made a video about it. It was a guy at the store, stuck his middle finger up at me while I was driving by. He thought he was tough. And then I got out, and he saw that I was a big old black man, and he ran in the store. And I was going to let it go because, you know, it's not worth getting violent with nobody over somebody sticking the middle finger up. But then he was coming. He tried to hide, and then he started coming toward my direction. I said, man, I got to say something to him. I said, man, you have a problem with my flag? And then he run to talk about Trump, and then he runs off. And I said, I'm going to get this fool on camera. And I pull the camera out, and he running. You know, these people are so cowardice. Let me just tell you guys something. Two lessons learned here. Don't be a coward. Don't stick your middle finger up at people you don't know. Because where I'm from, you can really get yourself in some big trouble. You know what I'm saying? You stick your middle finger up at somebody having a bad day or ain't got nothing to lose, you're going to take an L. Or you stick your finger up with somebody that's going to confront you. Don't run like a little chump. The bottom line is don't do that stuff to people, man. Treat people the way you want to be treated. You're mad at a flag. That Blue Lives Matter flag got you triggered. You should be ashamed of yourself. And I wasn't going to really get on him until he said, I'm a millionaire. What do you do for a living? And I'm like, ooh, I'm finna put you on IG. You're begging me. You're saying, please, Brandon, put me on IG. Breaking news on Ukraine. Putin announced that just like August Alsina, he ain't pulling out. Y'all gonna make me read something. I'm gonna have to ask God for forgiveness. But anyway, I got a couple people ready. I'm just gonna wait. I got one more. I got Jericho Green coming, and once we get Jericho, we'll pull everybody up. So, no, I appreciate y'all, man. These people out here, don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. That's my whole premise. Somebody stick their finger up at you, don't be afraid to say something to people. Don't let them just get away with it. Now, with that being said, you got to monitor how far you want to go with this, right? Are you willing to fight somebody over it or not? If you ain't trying to get into no violence and it's not worth it, then I'd say just leave it alone. Waiting on Jericho. It ain't his fault, though. I end up starting like this because for some reason, I don't know why StreamYard does that every now and again. Thank God I fixed it. I couldn't fix it for a week last time. All right, I'm just going to bring people in. Jericho going to come in here soon. Shout out to my boy ABL in the house. Johnnie in the house for the first time. And,
what's up, sir?
How y'all doing, man? Jericho is supposed to come here soon. So I want to get into a few topics. We're going to go through the gamut. You know, we're going to start where it's most reasonable to start at. Everybody probably want to hear what we have to say about what happened at the Oscars just a little bit. We just touch on it a little bit, and then we're going to go through the gamut. Somebody said, where's the whiskey? I left my whiskey downstairs. Don't worry about it. Jericho be here soon. So we're going to start it off. What do y'all think about Will Smith? Was Will Smith, somebody got a volume in the background. I think you got to turn it down a little bit. Was the slap justified? Let me just say this. Everybody saw the slap heard around the world. That's what I call it. Would you have slapped Chris Rock if he had disrespected unintentionally? Did y'all hear the echo? It's just me.
You still hear it?
Go ABL. Give me a 5 count.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Is it me?
Nah. Johnnie, give me a count. It's 5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
For some reason, I'm hearing myself. How could it be me? Maybe this mic. No, that mic is off. Don't worry about it. Anyway, back to the question. If you were Will Smith and somebody made an offensive joke against your mama, are you married, Johnny?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so Johnny married, ABL married. If somebody said something against your wife, whether they knew it was right or not, would you have walked up there and slapped them? ABL, what would you have done?
No, man. Like, okay, you understand where you are. Chris Rock is a comedian. When he's hosting any kind of show like that, you know what he's going to do? He's going to roast the crowd. And ain't nobody off limits. Because I was hearing that people say, oh, that's his wife. All right, so should there be a rule? No wives allowed at comedy clubs? Or if you go to a comedy club and there's a woman, you can't say anything about her? I feel like comedy should be for everybody. Just like when I call Caitlyn Jenner, when I say Bruce Jenner, they say, oh, you can't say that. I'm like, why? Just because this person is transgender, they can get jokes too. I don't care who you are. You could be, as long as you're not like a little kid or something like that, and you might get a joke if you're a little kid. It might not be that bad though. But anyway, if you're a human being in a comedy type of area, you can get jokes. Now, there's a line between being mean-spirited and just joking. Like I was saying before. Oh, where's Tatum go? Let's see. He probably come back.
He didn't smash that on us.
I'm gonna keep it going and rocking. All right, let's see what he got going.
I'm back, man. Can you hear me?
I hear you. You good?
Oh Jesus! Go ahead. Keep going. Keep going.
All right. So what I was saying was, as long as you're not mean-spirited, it's all good. Like an example would be if somebody one of their parents died, you say, "Ha ha, your mama died." It's like, come on, where is the joke? And that you just being mean-spirited for no reason. Why would you go there? But alopecia, it wasn't even alopecia joke because he ain't nothing about alopecia. It was just a short haircut joke. G.I. Jane, that wasn't a bad joke. That was a soft joke. Okay. The only reason why Will Smith got up and went to slap him is because number one, first he was laughing at the joke. He thought it was funny because it was funny. It was a nice little joke, wasn't that serious. He's laughing, haha. He sees Jada out the side of his eye. He sees Jada, she's rolling her eyes. Boom, sitting right there. I gotta go do something. And the reason why he did that is because, first of all, Chris Rock is black. He wouldn't have done that to no white guy on stage. Like if that was Ricky Gervais or Lorne Michaels from SNL, he wouldn't have done that because he knows he's going straight to jail. He knows Chris Rock might give him a pass. They might be friends already. It might be okay. So he could do that to him. Also because it wasn't a real big, powerful guy. If you got Mike Tyson up there throwing a few jokes, you're going to sit right in your seat and you're going to shut up. You can be like, yeah, Mike, that was funny. Ha, ha, ha. That's what you're going to do if it's Mike Tyson. But the reason why he was so upset is because of all the things that Jada Pinkett Smith had done to him. All the embarrassment, going on Oprah, talking about he can't do X, Y, and Z right. Red table talk. You're talking about having your son's friend in your marital bed. Like all of that stuff just compounded. It compounded until he snapped. Chris Rock was just the guy he snapped on, but the joke wasn't even it. So this whole thing about defending your wife, that's bogus. What he was doing was slapping Chris instead of Jada, who he wants to slap.
I don't know, Johnny. What you got, man? Would you, if somebody say that to your wife, and in the same circumstances, would you feel the pressure that I gotta go up there and slap this dude on GP?
No, man. So I first off, thanks for having me on the show, bro. I really appreciate it. I look at it from the emotional standpoint of a man and broken. And, the biggest thing that a lot of men are saying is, what it's like when you get that look from your wife that you got to go and growing up in a black community. Like I always use myself as an example. My mom and dad had real bad domestic violence. So my mom used to make me fight my dad on her behalf. I never knew what the issues was about. I never knew what was going on, but I always was this kid squaring up with my daddy simply because my mom would tell me to. And as I got older, man, I had to go to my dad and apologize to him. And I was like, bro, you never hit me back. He was like, man, you was my son. I loved you. And that stunned me because here I am like full of anger and rage trying to fight this man. And my mama was throwing me into the situation. He could have beat the hell out of me. He could have killed me on accident. And when I got to that mindset of stop being controlled by mama, it made me look at life differently. So when I look at all the men, black woman run the society. You got to do what mama say. You can't question big mama. And I just look at Will Smith as he was the boy in that situation and Jada was the mama. And she said, go get him.
Ooh. That's deep. I
Yeah.
ain't never thought about that one, man. I think it was something going on with that brother. We all know he getting served on TV. His wife talking about smashing other dudes. I mean, it make you feel some type of way. I felt like Will had to flex to prove something to Jada because she don't respect him. She probably disrespect him at home. She treat him like her second love of her life because I think I could have sworn in an interview she said Tupac was the first love of her life or something like that.
And he fell into that stereotype of black male masculinity. Well, I got to beat somebody up to prove I'm tough.
Yeah, to prove my love. To prove my love. She got to know I got her back because she don't respect me in any other way. I can't get respect any other way but to be violent and put my hands on another man to satisfy what she wants. And I felt like he was feeling that pressure. Like he at the academy, he's everybody's watching him, everybody's watching his wife. He already feeling like less of a man, already being there with Jada. And then when he saw her face, and she was like you, I bet they don't have a camera angle, but I bet you she looked at him like this. I knew you wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I knew you wasn't a real man. Or so. She gave him that look, and he was like, all right, I got to go show the world that I ain't no punk, and my wife ain't finna have, because just think about this. Would Jada have criticized him for not doing nothing? That'd be another hit on a podcast. Will didn't do nothing. He laughed at me. He let that man disrespect me. And I feel like that's why Will he felt that pressure. He had to pull up on him. I think he was wrong though, because I still can't believe he slapped that man. I'm still in shock. Jericho, what you got?
Man, I was laying in bed with my wife, man, and I saw that come across the feed. I was like, wait, what? What happened? No. Sure enough, you watch it, and it was like you're watching some kind of show or news or something. They just show the clip over and over and over, and I just kept watching that like, is this for real? And it's unfortunate because you would think Will would be numb to it by now. The way she dragged that man through public, bringing him on TV like that, just neutering him in front of the world. So you can't blame it all on her because he should have been like, oh, I'm sorry, you did what? I'm gone. As soon as I find out you laid down with homeboy, we're done. But he stuck around, and man, I felt like, I think we all feel he was just too emotional, man. And he wasn't thinking. And his wife, Jada, has a responsibility to him. All right? Don't set him up like that. Your wife's supposed to save you from situations like that, not set you up for situations like that. But Will, no matter what, how she looked at him, what she said, you should have kept your butt in that seat. Deal with it later. You could have laughed it off, and then everybody's evening would have went on normal. Your moment would have been overshadowed, nobody else's. Everything would have been fine. But I guess Mama Jada wasn't having it. She sent out the call, and he answered. Man, that was just hard to watch. That was awkward. He should have been arrested. I don't care what Chris Rock wants to do. We saw him commit a crime. You got to pay. White privilege, I don't want to hear that ever again. Don't ever say those two words to me again, because we got on film in 1080p this man going up and assaulting another man and nothing happened. It's green privilege. You got that money. That's how you stay out of trouble. That's how you stay at home while your lawyers go and sit in the courtroom for you. That's the kind of money he has. He should have been arrested. 2 uniformed officers should have came and got him. We'll see you later, Will. We'll see you as you put your jacket over your head coming out of the courtroom when you post bail. That was terrible. All those disgusting people in there clapping for him. If that was my friend, I'm not dapping you up during the commercial break. You're an idiot. That was dumb. You shouldn't have done that, man. What were you thinking? Not hugging him. And when I saw it was Bradley Cooper, I was like, Bradley Cooper? How'd you get to the Oscars? But anyway, that was just weird. I lost a little respect for Denzel. It was just awful all the way around. He shouldn't have been allowed to get his award. None of that. What is going on here, man? You walked up and slapped another man. We already know what would happen if Will Smith was 6 or 7 shades lighter. You already know. It would be split screen, slave handler smacking a slave on the. Tell me, I'm right. That's how sick these people are. It would have been split screen. This is exactly how it was back in 1802 or whatever. It was disgusting. It was a bad look from all angles, and Will Smith is a buster.
Yeah, they people say, why wasn't Will arrested? Well, the thing is that Will Smith, if Chris Rock didn't prosecute, because just because a person assaults you doesn't mean that they will automatically get arrested unless it's a domestic violence situation where the state picks up the charges. But if somebody walk up to you in the street and punch you, the officers are going to ask you, hey, do you want to prosecute or not? Now, if they knock you unconscious and you're in a coma or something, they're going to use their discretion to go ahead and take care of that. But I want to play this little video. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I want to play this little video. It was like, I don't even like this word. I'm going to skip the word, but it's pretty much Will getting embarrassed by Jada on that interview. And I'm going to pull that up real quick and I'll play a little bit of it. Because I want people to see what I'm talking about, or what we're talking about when it comes to Jada and this awkward interview they did. So let me put
Buster.
Let me see, make sure the audio on. All right, roll the film.
On a hell of a journey with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's people's feelings involved.
Right.
It's healing that needs to happen.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So what happened, Jada?
Okay, so I think it was about 1.5, 4 years ago. Started a friendship with August, and we actually became really, really good friends. And it all started.
But they did.
Needing some help. Me wanting to help his health, his mental state. And we found all those different resources, to help pull him through. And there, you and I were going through a very difficult time.
Yeah.
That particular point in time, it was indefinite.
Yeah. I really felt like we could be over.
We were
over. And then what did you do, Jada?
Well, I think from there, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement.
I think you need to say clearly what happened.
I got entanglement with August. That's what I said.
So somebody edit this video, but so on and on. Hold on, let me find another clip. So she tells him in front of the world that she entangling with another man, and I'm assuming that he's finding this out like everybody else.
Nope. Okay,
bro.
Go ahead, ABL.
See, here's what happened. There was so much in that interview, it was crazy. The first thing is that no personal accountability, embarrassed to say what you did, but still saying it. Like Will is saying, hey, say what you did. She doesn't respect him because she's not doing what he's asking. He's asking for her to say it plain. She's talking about entanglement, which just made that word become a meme. Entanglement, because you don't want to say what you did, which was having an affair with this boy who was your son's friend that you were having in your house with you, who Will Smith knew. August Alsina, when he came out about the whole situation, said that Will gave him his blessing. Go ahead, you can have her. I think he's telling the truth. Why would he lie about that? If he lied about that, then why are they going on here and confirming the whole physical part of it? Why lie about a small detail like that? Because the bigger detail is that you had Will Smith's wife. The smaller detail is Will said it's okay. And he was even in the house. So you got this boy in the house. He's going with your wife on red carpets. They got pictures together. When you not there, you said it was okay. You cool with it. So this whole situation from the beginning, and we've heard about them having an open relationship for years now. This is the end result of a so-called open relationship. You got stuff like this going on. Will Smith is just a failure in his personal life. Professionally, you can't say nothing else bad about him. Stellar. But personally, these weird kids, yes, I said it, the weird kids.
Oh yeah, they're weird as hell.
Yes, the ridiculous, manipulative, evil wife, and himself. All of that right there. And now he's realizing it because we're all saying it. That caused him to snap on stage. That's what did it. It wasn't even a joke. It was like, okay, now I gotta just act out and take out my frustration and rage on Chris Rock rather than taking it out on my kids or Jada Pinkett Smith or August Alsina or whoever else has wronged me in my life, or whoever else I failed in their life to develop into an actual person. That interview was crazy, man. Like the whole red table talk, the worst thing in the world. Matter of fact, one more thing. Speaking about Jada Pinkett and Tupac, Jada posted a poem from Tupac right during the middle of Will Smith's press run for his book. She ain't posted his book though. Okay, your husband got a brand new book, bestseller all over the world, millions sold. Rather than you posting that on your Instagram, you post a poem from Tupac. No respect, no regard for this guy. He has to leave her, but he's not going to do it. So it's just destroying him. It's crazy.
That money, boy. You know how much alimony he finna have to pay if he leave her? He just wanna he gonna be broke.
At this point, I would say, look, man, take $1 billion and leave, because that $1 billion is worth my sanity. Because if you don't stop soon, this is gonna go left real quick. It's gonna go all the way left.
Nah, bro. Yeah, she gonna take that money and she ain't gonna say that. Lord help me.
You know what she's gonna do.
He gonna Augustine or whatever his name is gonna, they gonna be having fun with his money.
She bought 25 of them boys in the house, in the compound.
Yeah, man, in the house, in their house that they built together with his money. She gonna be doing in a 3-point stance. Let me get off here. Let me go ahead. Somebody
man,
get in trouble.
This is just like, as bad as she is for doing it. This is like a woman who's in an abusive relationship, and you're like, why doesn't she leave the dude?
Yeah.
Why doesn't he leave her? Forget what she's doing. Why is he sticking around for it? He looks defeated. How were his eyes already red and puffy at the beginning of the interview? And is that table bolted down? Because I damn sure be flipping it over. What are you talking about? Entanglement? Don't play with me. And why would you even get on camera? We ain't talking about this in front of nobody. We're talking about this at home when the kids are gone and the house is empty. That's when we're talking about this. We're not airing our dirty laundry in the streets. And that was her one and only option. She, keeping that private, never crossed her mind. She saw this as an opportunity to bring eyeballs on her stupid red table. And for him to go on, it's like people who go on these talk shows to be told some horrible news. Who agrees to go on here? You know what Maury does. Why are you there? Why would you even be there to get embarrassed, man? This is sad. And another way it's sad is a sorry excuse for a man that he showed his son and his daughter. Because I believe if you're a man, you're showing your son what to be and your daughter what to choose. And I hope his daughter doesn't choose a man like him, but his son, yeah, like you said, ABL. But that is just terrible, man. He's a fool. I have no sympathy for him at all. You want to be Will Smith and all that comes with that and be saddled with this demon? You're an idiot.
From what I know about him, man, he got daddy issues himself. His mother, I think he said his father left his mother when he was 12 and he tried to commit suicide. And then I think he said he tried to commit suicide one other time before he was 20s. And everything he's done, his acting is fake. Like he said, he's never been tough. He's never had confidence. It's all been an act. And I think, we all know, man, life is hard and you got to put on this fake image. And eventually it slips and that mask fall off. And I think that was it. That was the final straw of I'm tired of pretending that I'm this tough macho man that I'm not. And that's why he was crying so hard in that acceptance speech. You know what I mean? Because in reality, bro, if you walk up on somebody and slap them, you're not turning your back. Because you expected them to square up with you or something. Yep. You don't slap somebody and just walk off. That was like pure feminine emotion. I don't know what to do. He just needed to scream or something. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, you think he would have done that to Joe Rogan? Joe Rogan would have kicked his face off. It would have been over. But he knew Chris Rock, that's an easy target. And then why was he laughing at first? That just totally shows the control that Jada has over him. He was laughing. He was doing the right thing. But then this poisonous woman came in and made him do the wrong thing. And you can almost see she's like a Gabrielle Union. Like you can tell she's just evil and mean, just like she plays in some of her movies. That alpha female, whatever you want to call it, that cold-hearted whatever. But she really seems that way. And I think art imitates life for her. But Will Smith, man, you got too many other outlets. You're dumb.
But as a man, if you live in a scarcity mindset, he don't think he have options. He thinks that he really has to deal with it, and no one in his inner circle is letting him know that you can pull up with 3 Jadas tomorrow and live your best life. You know what I'm saying?
Easy.
My barber told me that Will Smith, and this is if y'all got kids watching, just cover their ears. My barber told me this, and I can't verify because I didn't see whatever interview this was, but that Will Smith, I think before he's with Jada, when he was popular or whatever, that he used to be with so many women, he used to throw up afterwards, and it was a phobia or like some kind of disease you get when you sleep with too many women. That's what he told me. I was like,
Wow.
I ain't never
That's a
heard
good problem to have.
I ain't never.
That's a good problem to have. I've thrown up, but it wasn't from that. Oh, not from that.
So
and I'm sure
supposedly he was. That's how he was doing too much.
I'm sure if he looks back on that time and juxtaposes it with what he's living now, I'm sure he'd much rather be doing that. I'm sure he'd much rather have his head in a toilet 20 times a day than to deal with this tragedy that he has now.
But Hollywood loves emasculated black men. You know, that's the figure. You know, LeBron James with Hillary Clinton, Dwayne Wade with letting his son transition now. Well, if you got a soft black man, I'll put him on TV.
But how do they keep being lemmings and walking off of that cliff? And I've thought about this before. All the famous black actors who have played women. It's almost like it's part of your welcome to Hollywood package. You know, you got to play, you got to put on a skirt, you got to put on some makeup, TV or a movie. And I understand, especially when you're getting started, you're hungry. You're going to take what you can get, but where there got to be certain sensibilities and certain beliefs you have that you can't compromise. And I don't know, call it whatever. Man, especially after you're an established actor, how are you putting on a dress? And how do you feed your kids, especially with the Gabrielle Union D. Wade situation? How do you feed your kids to the wolves? Because if you feed your children to the wolves, you're worse than the wolf because you're supposed to be protecting them. That kid views you as a protector, and you just throw them into this mess and allow their minds to be warped and confused. And there's that picture right there where they're standing on the steps. He got his nails done. Bruh, I come back home and my son's sitting there with a mani-pedi. We got a problem. We got a problem. One of us might have to change our address. It's that real. Your kids are number one, not number 1A, number one. And even if their mother is threatening that, you got to make some decisions. Instead of just, I'm out of town and she took him to a pride parade? Nah. Remember that from, what was that? Waiting to Exhale, we came home, a homegirl was throwing his stuff out of the second floor. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing.
This is his son. This is a boy right here.
And he calls him Zayana or whatever. He's playing into this crap.
Well, let me give y'all a preview just to be, and this is why good fathers are important, not just men, fathers, leaders, people who are, are primed to take care of their children and do what's right in spite of social pressures. It's cute now for them to push him out there. It's cute now. Look, he ain't got to be nothing but like 5'6".
Now that boy, he's big now because remember that's Dwayne. That's Dwayne Wade. So
13 or something like that. He's
Dwayne Wade about 6'4".
Yeah, so think about this. He is kind of tall now, but it's still right now to them it's cute. He's still a little person. When this boy turned 20, 18, he gonna be 7 foot something. And ain't no man gonna want no girl that wear a size 25 shoe. You ain't gonna be girl. Your shoulder's gonna be this big. He ain't gonna be able to be cute no more.
No man.
And when you young, they play your mind. They let you fall into this stuff. And everybody, he's so cute. Look, he looks like a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
That fool, 6'7", knuckles, big old knuckles. You know what I'm saying? Ashy ankles and big old toes bent up like this. You ain't no man gonna want you. You ain't gonna look like a girl no more.
And you know what? I was saying that too because their son, when they started to identify as a girl, they were 12 years old. I'm like, look, you're way too early in your development. You shouldn't be able to do that as a kid because you might be kind of confused at that age. You're not hit puberty quite yet. Your voice ain't changed yet. Your body is still kind of going through a weird time. You're confused. How about just be a kid, grow up, and once you get to be an adult, then you can be like, all right, now I'm gonna decide what I want to do. But a 12-year-old, see, that was him.
That's
right
when he was 11. He was
That's
11
when
years old.
See what I'm saying? So right around that age, he was kind of like confused. But now he's about the same size as his brother that's right beside him. Go back up, Tatum. See brother right there in the pink. That's his brother, Dwayne Wade's older kid. Now he's the same size as him. He grew up. So it's like you're still developing. You don't really understand what's going on sometimes when you're a kid. It can be confusing. But now you didn't already went down that road. How you gonna go back? How you gonna reverse course?
And even if he do, the parents are going full steam. You know what I'm saying? So even if at some point he want to be like, well, wait, I think that's him right there.
Look
That's
at
him,
that.
yeah. You see how big he got in like 2 years?
Hold on, Shawty.
Bruh, come on.
Hold on, Shawty.
Maybe about 6 feet too.
Hold on.
Come on, man.
It's supposed to be the picture. Hold on.
Bro, that is just. And they got him hanging out with Magic Johnson's son.
Grooming him.
Hi.
Getting him into the life.
I'm gonna scroll. Can I click on that picture? All right. It's got to be other pictures up here. Oh, there you go. It's scroll. Let's see if it scroll back up here. Boom.
Oh, thank you.
Bro, I mean, like you said,
he's 14 right there.
Is that his son?
Yeah.
They didn't got that boy looking like a girl.
Bruh.
That man about 6'2" at 14 years old, looking like he's trying to be out there walking the stroll in LA.
Them bunions gonna be hanging on the floor in a minute. They gonna be dragging under these heels.
Hey, him and Magic Johnson son will be 2 size 20 pairs of Manolo Blahniks on the floor. Come on, man. How does he, as a father, look at his son and let that happen?
Anyway, it's like, look, if your son is feminine or soft or whatever, okay, I can deal with somebody that's kind of soft and not really all the way. I can understand personality differences, but if I'm a father and my son is talking about, I want to put on girl clothes, no,
you don't.
If you want to do that, be an adult and do it.
But you're not. My son and my wife aren't sharing clothes. That's not going to happen. When you, like you said, ABO, when you get older, man, do your thing. But I'm not going to play into this, man. Your mind is still soft. It hasn't even hardened yet. Your bones are still flexible. Come on, dog.
And I'm not trying to be mean or nothing, but it's just like I think that maybe D Wade's dad wasn't as strong in his life. I just think
he wasn't.
The failure of men is what breed failed men or soft men who then let these women wear the pants in the relationship. Women are not wearing the pants in your relationship. That doesn't mean your wife can't say nothing. You shut up, woman, get over there. That's not the way it is. It's called a leadership role. Tom Brady is the quarterback. I don't know who else is on the team. Whatever running back. What's the running back name? Y'all know the running back?
Fournette. This got Fournette.
Fournette.
Yeah.
So Tom Brady is the quarterback. Fournette is the running back. Fournette cannot be the quarterback. He's not. That's not his position. That's not his role. Play your position. Y'all still both equal because you drop back in the pocket and Fonte, what his name? Fournier? Fournette. If Fournette don't block the defensive end, you get sacked. You ain't gonna go nowhere. If the offensive linemen don't block, wide receivers don't run routes. If the kicking team don't do what they have to do, your quarterback will fail. But you have positions. Everybody matters, but they play their position. In a marriage, a man has a position, and his wife has a position. They need each other to win the game, but they have positions that complement one another. And I don't know why people cannot understand that. And that's why D Wade, I feel like that they kids are like this, because the energy in the household, in my opinion, I don't live with him. I believe that it's Gabrielle Union. It's that feminine energy. It's that swinging your hips. Oh, child, girl, laying on the couch, eating popcorn, watching soap operas. And his boy is sitting up under her armpits. Oh, he ain't on the screen. The little boy is sitting up on her armpits doing the same thing. Well, it ain't her boy. I think it's his boy with somebody else.
Yeah, I think that's why she's doing it. I think that's why she's doing that, because that's not her kid. And it's kind of thumb in the eye to his baby mama, to the kid's real mom. She don't care. That baby they had together, I bet she won't let that little girl grow up to be no weirdo. But that boy, she don't care about him. That boy is a representative of his past relationship, his past transgressions. So she don't care about that kid. She will usher him down this path, and it is disgusting. Man, man, I don't understand. Are people really that evil? I mean, look at this boy. Look at that. That's not him. That's them. She was dragging him around on the set when she was on some TV show with all these transgender people. He's a trophy kid. He's like, oh, you have a trans kid? Oh my God, I wish I had a trans kid. Like he's the new African kid to adopt. They're the new trophy. They're the new toy. But it's so dangerous. And what if one day he wakes up and he's like, I don't want to do this anymore? Does he feel pressure from them to continue? Have they built any kind of business or something around? Does he feel a pressure to perform to make money now? What if he doesn't feel like this? They started doing this crap when he was 12. He's going to be a man someday. And they do have over a 40% chance of suicide. I hope he makes it to be a man.
It's the problem, man. I really do. That's why I made this shirt, because I'm like, I really do think people need to continue to be reminded that the fathers matter, man. You can't, and I say strong fathers because some people have fathers in the house that are abusive. That dude is a dirtbag. He ain't teaching nobody nothing. He might as well not even be there. If daddy gonna be beating up mama and beating up the kids, abusing them, not come home drunk, being a bad example, she might as well be single or meet a new man, or be single and have male influence in your life, like coaches and uncles, and that'll be a better way. But young men need great male leadership. They need to see it. They need to feel it. They need to smell it. I mean, I know this sounds weird, but I still remember what my dad smelled like. He smelled like a man. You know what I'm saying? My dad used to come home smelling like smoke from fighting fire. I remember my dad was a man, and it influenced me subconsciously. And if people don't think it matters, then we clearly can see the results.
Because man, your father understands what you're going through. He understands exactly what you feel. He understands your thoughts, and he knows what you need to be. He knows how you need to be prepared for this life. What I remember about my dad was his hands. My dad had the biggest, roughest hands in the world. Like if you didn't have anywhere to strike your match, go ahead and take my dad's palm. You strike it on there, guaranteed. But you're right, man. And a lot of things you learn from your father is just from him being there. It's not like he has this profound lesson for you every day. It's just seeing him, seeing his routines, seeing how he moves, literally and figuratively, seeing how he treats your mom. You should come around the corner and catch your parents kissing, or, whatever. Come here, girl. Your dad, chasing your mom around or something. Because that shows you what a relationship's supposed to be. A relationship's supposed to be love and happiness. Yes, you're going to have your disagreements. Yes, life's going to, kick you where it hurts. But for the most part, love should be easy. It should be fun. It should be something you look forward to coming home to. And kids need to see that, because if you don't teach them now, who are you going to leave it for to teach them? Who are you going to let teach your kids? Their teachers? I don't know now. That might not be such a good idea right now. So we got to get our kids, before they get to that age where all they want to do is hang out with their friends. We got to lay that groundwork. It's crucial, man. Fathers matter. They are crucial.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Go ahead, Johnny.
I was gonna say, man, my dad was like what you said. If my dad was a drunk, he's an alcoholic by worldly standards. So yeah, he went to work every day, but he came home, he got drunk, he passed out. The other part about domestic violence is crazy. I got an echo on if y'all can hear that.
Yeah, I think it's you.
How is it me? I don't have nothing. I just got my headphones on and my mic here. This mic not even on. Let me mute this. That mic ain't even on. I hear echo, but
yeah.
No.
But
keep talking, man. Hopefully.
Right on. So, the crazy part about living in a house with domestic violence is from the outside world, you live with this abusive monster of a father. But I remember my mama being in his face, like poking, like this, calling him names. I remember him leaving to cool down and walk the block and come back, and she's still going off. And then he finally loses cool, and then she called the police and he go to jail. So growing up in that environment, I had to go through my rough period. Like, I got baby mamas. I wasn't the best person, but I learned what the good was from him and the bad was from him, versus my friends who had no father at all. they still searching for themselves. So I agree with you saying, man, any type of male figure, because he went to work 6 days a week. We never had a car in my life. He taught me how to cut the lights on illegally. You know, he taught me how to cut the gas back on, like all of the hood stuff we needed to survive. And I didn't ask him about himself until I was grown. And I asked him, you know, why did you beat my mom? And he told me about, you know, him watching his mother get beat. And when I talked to him and understood him, it gave me empathy. And I feel for Will Smith and all these little boys, man, if you don't know who your dad is, the other half of you walking around this world lost. And that anger is misplaced, and you just going to throw it at everybody you can. And that's why we see these rappers, man, they can get all the cars, all the jewelry, all the girls, but then they still delete themselves or do something crazy because they missing their father. Like I seen Lil Durk was just talking about he just reconnected with his father after 26 years, and that changed his life. And all of our issues come from not knowing who our fathers are, man. You're totally right.
Yeah, I think that's my mic good. Can y'all hear me good?
You good?
Yeah.
My mic may have been too hot. That could have been what it was. But no, I agree with you, and I think we got to keep driving this thing home. You know, because I had my father in my life, it really balanced me out, man. My mom did the best she could, but she was the fun parent to a certain degree. You know, she let us cuss. We were smoking weed, and we were having fun. You know, we could do whatever we want to do. Mama buys Jordans, and you know, whatever we wanted, Mama go get it. You know, and she had to hustle to go get it. Mama go get it. But my daddy was the one that was more stable, more responsible, and you know, it really helped me balance it. Because when I was young, I had gold teeth in my mouth. You know, people know that follow me. I got Young Savage on my stomach right here. I was trying to, you know, live that life, but I had an example. I can only go so far until I see my father in my mind. Like, wow, my daddy will blow up on me. When I wanted to quit school and quit football, and I remember my dad saying, I don't care what you do, you better get your degree. You better get your doggone degree. And that really pushed me. If I didn't have a father, if my daddy didn't love me enough to pursue that, what would I have been? I got cousins that in prison, and I feel bad for them because they daddy wasn't like my daddy. They daddy wasn't on them. He's somewhere else gambling at bingo hall. You know, like it makes a difference. And I'm glad I went through the things that I've went through. And I'm sure, Johnny, you feel the same way. I went through the things I went through so I can have more passion about doing what's right. You know what I'm saying? If I already had it good, I'm like, oh, this is routine. I'm passionate about making sure my sons grow up and be good men. And some of these people don't have that vigor. They don't have that zeal for it.
Yeah, no, I feel like fatherhood is the highest honor. Like, you got to be a dad to understand it. But once you got kids, man, the cars, anything material don't matter. It's making sure that your seed becomes a successful human.
Yep. And leaving them in a better position than we were in, leaving them with more than we had. And I had the perfect example of mothers and fathers the other day. I have my son. My daughter had an after-school program, so we had an hour with him, with just me and his mom, and he plays t-ball. So we brought his tee and his glove, and so we're hitting some balls. And he's like, I want to go play. I said, right, because I bought a pack of 3 balls. I said, you catch these 3 balls in a row, we can go play. And my wife's like, oh, come on, baby, wants to go play. I was like, go take a walk. You're being too soft. And kids will take the path of least resistance. He was automatically like, yeah, Dad, I want to go play. I was like, no, we got to focus. We got to practice, man. You give me 3 of these, you can go play. But his mom, Mom, come here, baby. I'll make it better. And I was like, no, you stay your butt out here and do this, and then you can go play. But you gotta handle your business, man. You gotta handle your business before you go have fun. And like you said, B. Tatum, we have our roles, and they are so important. If one of them aren't there, or if one of them is malfunctioning, that can be very detrimental to the kids. That's where these savages come from, who shoot into a crowd of people. That's where these little serial killers come from. You can always trace it back to some moment in their childhood. And I think as long as we give them our best, that may not equate to riches and, video games and whatever, but as long as we give them whatever our best is, that's what we own. And that's their best springboard into life. It's not a guarantee, but it's their best shot at life. And we got to at least give them our best shot.
Yeah. On my first basketball team, bro, out of the 14-man roster, 9 of them are dead, and the other ones are in jail, and none of them have fathers. I was the only player on the basketball team with a father.
Wow, 9 dead. out of 14.
Yep.
Dude, that's like going to war. That's
Yeah,
like war
literally.
numbers.
That's
like-
Afghanistan numbers.
That's like a, you know, but I, you know, let me just say this, and I think that some of you guys agree with me, is that this is the conditions that are overlooked in the inner city communities, in the Black communities. I cannot say this enough, man. People get mad at me. Your messaging is wrong. That's why Black people don't watch you. It's like I'm screaming from the mountaintop that it's a cultural thing, a phenomenon that's going on in the Black community that's very unique to the Black community. I live around nothing but white people. And when I was patrolling, the majority of the people I patrolled were white and Hispanic. Sagging pants and this thug gang member cultures type stuff is unique to Black people. And, you know, there's some Hispanics that linger in there depending on what part of the country that you're in. But I see it with my own eyes, man. The thuggery, the drive-bys. I had never taken a drive-by shooting call working in the white community. Never heard of it. Gang violence, it didn't exist. You go to the Black community, there's drive-bys, there's gang violence, there's retaliation. It's a whole subsection or subculture of chaos that's unique to the Black community, in my opinion. If anybody disagrees, to pipe up and say you do, but it's a unique experience that needs to be addressed. You can't just say, oh, there's no such thing as Black on Black violence, because white people do it too. It's like, nah, we on another level, bro. When I was growing up, you get smoked. If you pull up next to somebody and they mugging you and you mug them back, they might shoot you. My cousin that we grew up with shot 3 people. He in prison for he got 70 some years. They're gonna let him out potentially after 20 years on parole. He shot 3 people for over an argument, and he had dope on him, and he was a prohibited possessor. It's like, dude, these things are very unique, and if we don't start talking about it, it's never gonna get fixed or changed.
And you know what else? The whole thing about the Will Smith thing, to bring it back to that. That's why I was so when I saw that, I lost sleep. Literally, I lost sleep over that because I knew what was going to be. I knew what was going to happen. What was going to happen is a lot of people were going to defend him and say, "Oh yeah, that's right, sticking up for your wife." But see, in real life, especially in the Black community, we know what happens when you do something like that. If you run up on somebody and slap them over a disagreement, over some words, that's how you die. Every single day you die like that. So it's like when I'm seeing people say that's the right thing to do, I'm like, y'all don't understand. You see, maybe in your mind, it's a great gesture and he's sticking up for his wife, but that's not how things work in reality. You see, in reality, there's consequences. Will can do that in a controlled environment called the Oscars, where he knows Chris Rock really can't do anything and he probably won't do anything. But if you're in the street, it wouldn't even be a fight. He would die behind that. I've seen that happen before. I've just seen guys die for less. So when you put that out there as something to do, you're damaging us so bad. We're trying to go out here and say, hey, man, we got to just solve things with better. You got to have better conflict resolution. We got to have mediators. You got to solve things better. You know, have a basketball game, have a chess game, do something to solve your problems. You know, that the gang violence, the street beefs, the neighborhood beefs, we're trying to solve all that. And Mr. Nice Guy, squeaky clean image, never heard a fly. He goes out there in front of millions, in front of the whole world, and slaps Chris Rock, and people are saying it's okay. So now what you're saying is, oh, that's fine. That's standard for Black men to do that to each other. All you're gonna do is just make that be part of the normal culture, which furthers the violence in the community. You've undone years and years and years and years of work with that one slap. I literally lost people. I was in a hotel. I was tossing and turning. I was like, man, this is real bad. And people are saying, man, move on from that. It's not really it's a real big deal because I done seen guys die just like that. And the co-signing of it is going to make that problem much worse. It won't make it any better.
And to piggyback off that, bro, to say, you know, think about Mike Brown, think about Tamir Rice. All they said was they was kids. They was kids. Well, if squeaky clean Will Smith can lose his cool like that, what could a 6'4" kid in the hood do? I'm scared. I'm shooting him. And
Yep.
everybody saw it on TV. So the jury gonna like, yeah, you're right. The judge gonna say, yeah, you're right. I would have got scared too. Like, we shoot ourselves in the foot every time, and we gonna be complaining because a cop pulled his gun too fast. He was just a kid. He was 6'6". Sorry.
Yeah,
Right.
and it not only furthers the stereotype, but it also shows people no matter what they achieve, no matter what level they're on, look at how they act. Will Smith had a tuxedo on. Now, when you're dressed nice, when I'm dressed in my work clothes, I will step in anything. I will kneel down in anything. I will get under a car. I will get under a house. But when I'm dressed up nicely to go somewhere, don't ask me to kneel down in anything. Don't ask me to climb under a house because I'm not dressed for that. I'm in my nice clothes. And especially a suit and in a certain environment, you're supposed to be a chameleon, fit into the environment you're in. If you're wearing a tux at a 5-star event like that, that's how you need to act. But that just shows them no matter what heights they achieve, no matter where they are, you can take him out of Philly, but you can't take Philly out of him. And something I saw last week that speaks to this disgusting culture that we are plagued with. We were at a gas station. 2 pumps over was a minivan. It was 2 black women driving and a little black girl in the back. I don't know what age she was, but she was still sitting in a car seat. She must have been at least 3. She wasn't an infant, but she was a toddler. They finished pumping the gas and they turned their car on, the van, and what comes blaring from the stereo system? Bust it, bust it. Is you? Bust it. But now we know what she's talking about when she says bust it, okay? So this little girl is sitting back there in surround sound, bust it, bust it, bust it. There are 2 women up front, one of them probably her mom, rapping along with it, saying those disgusting words. So that drills into this little girl's mind, all I am is a piece of meat. All I'm good for is busting it open. Bust it, bust it. She must have said it 50 times before she left the parking lot. This girl is just having this literally beat into her mind. You know the foul language she's around. You know the violence that little girl is around. And I wanted to honk the horn with that woman's forehead and take that baby from her and take that girl home and get her out of those clothes, get her some nice clean clothes, a warm meal. You are loved. You are worth more than busted. Busted. I was disgusted. I wanted to take that girl home and give her the Huxtable experience. You are surrounded by love. You will have everything you need. Don't worry about it. You are beautiful. But that's not what that girl got. And who knows what song they played after. But I was sick.
We got kids raising kids though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just kids raising kids. You know, most of the women, not most of them, but a lot of women I went to high school with that had babies, they still act the same way they did when they was in high school. Mm-hmm. They still going to the club Friday and Saturday. And those kids are now, if they 16, they mama 30, they going to the club together.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
That's
one thing. Go ahead, ABL.
Nah, but they going to the club together. The daughter's 16, the mom is 32, same outfit, smoking weed, all of that. I seen that. That's common, unfortunately.
But when they're crying over their son's body or their brother's body, why does it not the thought go into their mind? We got to stop this.
It does, but that money come in their mind too. Well, I need to push this so we can get paid out. We're gonna go and buy Gucci bags and all this old crazy stuff. But you know, I think that you know, this is one thing that I tell young people. I say, if you live in the hood or you live in an environment, no matter what color you are, if you want to change, you got to move. The biggest blessing for me is when I went to college in another state. I then left all that hood stuff and went into an environment of something new. And I still see people that I went to school with still doing the same thing. I'm 34. I'll be 35 next month. I'll be 35 years old. And they still at the club, still doing the same thing we were doing in high school. They look the same. They act the same. They all just hanging around each other, wearing the same clothes, man. Still looking bummy. And I'm not dissing them, but if I had some advice to give, I'd say move away, get out of here, go to another city, go to another state, find your purpose, find your identity, Find out who you are away from all of this noise, all of that stuff, the tradition that you've been involved in, and establish yourself and then come back. When I used to come back home, I realized this ain't the way life's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? People not being married that's not normal. When I was growing up, it was normal. Ain't nobody married nobody. Ain't no mom and dad. You got a mom and dad living in the same house, bro. Who are you? Your mom and dad ain't got no drunk. Nobody selling dope. Who are you, bro? You lame. You ain't black. And then when I went to college, I was around these white people. I'm like, everybody got a mom and daddy at home. I'm not saying it was everybody. It just felt that way. Everybody's had a mom and daddy at home. All these people seem like they had stable environments. And I would go home and be like, yeah, this is weird, man. My daddy and my grandmother wasn't together. On both sides. My daddy didn't see his daddy until he came back a little later in his life. He was there at the beginning, then he left for a while. I don't know why he left, but he was gone. He came back, and we saw him come back right before he died. My other grandfather lived across the street from the school my mama we went to, ain't said nothing to my mama. She didn't even know who her daddy was. And my grandmother, she had my mama at 12. My grandma had my mama at 12 years old. So, my grandfather raped my grandmother. So we didn't know who that dude was. We finally meet him, and he a lowlife. He telling us, giving us all these dreams. Oh, I used to play minor league baseball, man. He looked just like my mama, man. We wanted him to be somebody. We wanted to love and know what our lineage was. This fool was doing drugs. He was the outcast. And when he died, we found out that we actually had a successful side of our family. Because they came to the funeral, and we looking like, who are y'all? Like,
you at the right funeral?
You must be Clay's grandkids. And then we and they own oil reserves, doctors, lawyers, and this fool, our grandfather, fooly dude he was, did nothing with his life. So it just, I don't know, I'm just ranting a little bit, but it just, we have to understand the value of family, the value of education, the value of conflict resolution. Bro, it's still in me sometimes. I blew up on, I don't know if y'all seen, I know y'all seen it. I don't know if Johnnie knew me back then. I blew up on somebody on the live stream, man. I threatened him and everything. And I was like, I feel bad because it was
you was about that action, huh?
Oh, I say, bro, when I see you, I'm whooping your ass. I say, you want to be hood? You want to be hood? You must. But I don't think it was the right thing to do. I'm wrong. I was wrong.
Man, I heard this quote. It said, a bad day for the ego is a good day for the soul. So every day you need to let it go so you can come back down.
I had a dude at the store the other day, just yesterday. I'm going through the park, minding my own business, trying to get my wife prescription from the fries. The dope, the thing is shut down. I had to go inside. I'm driving through the parking lot. This white dude drive by me. I think he thought I was white. I got this big old red truck with a Blue Lives Matter flag on it. It's like the Trump supporter starter kit. You know what I mean? So he go by and he driving it. And bro, I felt some type of way. I said, hold on, bro. This gonna be the last time you do this to somebody. I'm gonna get out. I thought about it. I said, I'm gonna get out and I'm just gonna whoop this dude. And I can pay for my wife can bail me out. I'm gonna whoop this dude.
So that was your thought process. Like,
it flashed. I said, because it flashed on me that I'm free. I'm not a kid no more. I ain't got to worry about getting it my parents or nothing. I'm finna whoop this dude and I can take the consequences. I'm a cop. I know what's gonna happen once I whoop this guy. I turn myself in and do this, whatever, and I get bailed out. But then it said, Brandon, don't do that. You got a big following. What do you care about what this dude did? Right. Don't be a fool. You get in here, you beat the guy up, he die, or it turn into gunplay. He pull a gun, and then you got to pull a gun and shoot him over a middle finger. Do you really? Your wife is at home. You supposed to be going to getting insulin. What are you doing?
You got a baby at home. You got to be Mr. Family Man.
My baby at home. He just walked today, by the way. My baby at home. And I'm like, boy, you better slow down. You ain't in the hood, bro. Who you think you is? You got millions of people following you. You go and beat this dude up, you're gonna feel good about it initially, and then it all goes bad. So I said, I ain't gonna do it, man. I said, let me get him on IG though. I was gonna confront him a little bit. I ain't gonna run up on a dude. And I confront him and he ran. He running down. He walking fast down with his back, trying to hit the corner and stuff. I'm like, no. What did you say? What were you saying? What was you saying? You stuck your finger up at me. Now you running.
I saw that. I saw that on IG. Like after it happened, I was gonna be like, "No, Brandon, no, don't do it, don't do it," because that guy would have called the federales on you ASAP. I wasn't on the ground. Oh, I'm hurt. Come,
my
call the police.
My back.
My neck ain't my back.
He would have tried to sue me and everything. But he would have known that. He was disrespectful, bro. He said, "I'm a millionaire. What do you do for a living?" Like when he was kind of, because he was coming this way, and he saw him. He was ducking a little bit. Then he couldn't help it but come the same way I was coming. I said, "Hey man, what you said? Well, you got a problem with my flag?" Trump. He just froze up. Trump, it's Trump, and he keep walking. And I'm like, "Oh, bro, I'm finna get you on IG." He go, "I'm a millionaire. What do you do for a living?" I'm like, this is one of those moments where I'm gonna get him on camera saying something really stupid. But I'm not good at the viral camera stuff, bro. Because in my mind, I'm like, I ain't trying to be recording. You know what I'm saying? He turn around and do something, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna throw hands. I ain't gonna be good trying to get nobody on.
You know, TikTok moment. It's gonna be a knock moment.
Y'all gonna see the camera go like this.
Camera gonna be,
and then I'm gonna pull the camera up and be like, "See, I told you. See, I told y'all." He should have kept his hand to himself. No, but that's a lesson learned for me. Like, I want people to understand too. Like, bro, we on this thing, but we have to fight that too. I grew up in a violent environment. You know what I'm saying? I grew up around, bro. You talking noise? You got to get smoke. You got to get that smoke. And when I was growing up, you couldn't let nobody pass like that because you lose respect. You lose respect from everybody, and it just ain't a good day for you, bro. So when somebody challenge you, even if you know you can't, you ain't gonna win, you just got to take it there. And just
I wonder what are the medical consequences of living in those kind of environments for those kind of years. In the real bad neighborhoods where you're under the stress of where you got to go, how you got to get home, who you got to pass. Just that constant stress of what's going to happen, gunshots. I mean, I hope somebody has done medical studies on this, but that has to be a real consequence of being in a war zone. That's what it is. Gunfire in the distance, gunfire not so much in the distance. You know what I mean? It's not uncommon to go to a funeral. That sadness of of losing a friend, and then
just I can holler at that, bro. I went to a funeral every Saturday from the time I was 3 to about 12 with family. That was like cousins and uncles. And then by the time I got 14, it was my friends. Actually, the neighborhood drug dealer got shot on my front porch when I was 16.
And what neighborhood was this?
Just right off 27th Street. My mama used to actually wake me up when I was a kid and put me in the bathtub. So when the bullets pierced the house, they wouldn't come through the tub. Not that they were shooting at our house, but when they was doing drive-bys.
Is this
what neighborhood? Where?
Kansas City, Missouri.
Kansas City.
Missouri. Now,
see, that's what people do in war zones.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's where I come from.
Let me clarify this. I don't want nobody getting nothing confused. My mama feels some type of way. We ain't live like that. Like you steps above us, bro. My mom and them tried their best to get us into private school and do us right, and we still had family members out there cutting up, and we had some stuff going on in our family. But my daddy worked hard. He was a firefighter. He moved us to Crowley. So we had spurts of being in violent environments and situations. So I want to clarify that. I don't want my mama feeling some type of way. She see this and be like, I did the best I could for you.
I know what I'm saying?
I'm like, mama, hold on. I'm not trying to say I'm like Johnnie, bro. Mama, we nobody drive by, and even though I had family members that got, they did drive-bys and stuff, but my mom and them try to keep us away from that stuff.
I have heard that about the bathtub though. That I heard that when I was a kid too. It was like they start shooting, go to the center of the house where the bathtub is at, so it can't. So if it's coming from the front of the house, it won't go all the way there. If it's coming from the back, it won't go all the way there too. Go right to the center. You got the protection of the porcelain a little bit. Yeah. I heard the same exact thing I heard that I was a kid.
I love my mama to death, but she was a hood baby. She overdosed on opioids in 2015. I love her to death, but she was hood as a fool. But she raised me with some morals. Like she always said, I can keep you out of the streets or I keep you away from the girls. I was away from the streets, but I was young and reckless with girls.
She OD'd and passed away?
Yes, sir.
Dang.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so my first son passed away at 18 from a chromosome disease called trisomy 18.
Your first son?
My second son passed away when I was 22 at 4.5 months from SIDS, and then my mom overdosed on opioids when I was 25.
Man, that's crazy.
But hold on, bro. I swear to God, my life is a blessing. Nothing bad has ever happened in my life. God is working, and everything I went through was to make me a better person. Like those boys that I lost, I wasn't man enough to raise them. I would have made them some terrible humans. So God took them from me so I could learn a lesson. And now I got 4 sons. They all upstairs sleep, and I'm the greatest father I ever could have been. So nothing bad has ever happened to me. Losing my mama turned me into a real man.
Bro, do you have a book?
Yeah.
You gotta write that, man.
You gotta write a book, bro. Every time somebody come on the show, I'm like, somebody who else had a crazy story that it was what's it, Craig Long. I was
Craig,
like,
yeah.
he went to prison and all this. I'm like, dang, bro, really, you went to prison? And then now I'm like, God dang, I thought I had it rough to a certain degree. My cousin in life was way worse than mine. They were living like y'all. We weren't living like that, but
yeah, we was I was in a homeless shelter between the 3rd and 5th grade. And my mom got her Section 8. A crazy story. So the house I'm talking to you in right now, my mama had this house on Section 8, and we got evicted when I was 17 because we couldn't keep the utilities on. And I always said we'd come back. And now I live in this house with my wife and all 7 of my kids.
oh man, that's good, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
The
good.
neighborhood is nice though. So what that taught me is like now the house next door just sold for 400,000. So what that taught me is we never lived in the hood. We just didn't value our property. So I can't be mad if somebody can sell it for 10K and then turn around and sell it for 400K. I should have took care of that. If you do plant positive seeds, you'll have a beautiful garden. But if you let weeds grow everywhere, then it's gonna look like trash. So it just taught me that as black men and black individuals, we gotta take care of the earth. We come from the earth, and what you reap, you will sow. It's in the Bible. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you guys got houses for 400,000 out there?
Yeah.
But California, you can't.
Well, it's changing. It's they
get
research
property.
suburban it. Yeah.
No. He's saying now,
He's saying
but
it's
back
cheap.
then it was way cheap.
Oh, this whole house, every house around here was Section 8, man. It was bullet holes and trash everywhere, bro. And not knocking it, but now it's all white people and LGBT people, and which makes a role on why the neighborhood is nice. Just being truthful.
Hey, bro, I mean, people don't want to be honest, but let me give you an example. When my dad got some money, he got promoted, he started making more money. We moved to Crowley. Anybody in Fort Worth, Texas know what I'm talking about. We moved to Crowley. And we went to Meadow Creek Elementary. My dad, tried to put us in really good schools and a great environment. Man, white people walking their dogs, man. And it was kind of mixed, but it was mostly white. And all the black people were middle class. And so we just go my friend in the house. We hooping all day. It's safe. We drive at night, everything. Bro, I went to college and I came back and they had Section 8 housing that they moved from downtown. They moved that Section 8 housing to an apartment complex right in Crowley. And bro, ever since they did that, the community started going down. Dudes walking down the street with their pants sagging all times of the night, cars getting broken in. And it's just like, and then what they did was they moved all the housing to suburbs and they redid downtown Fort Worth. So now it's all beautiful. Then they got high rises.
Yeah.
That's happening here now. That's happening here now.
And so, and then it goes back, they push them to suburbs, then they push them back downtown. But yeah, bro, we had a very nice neighborhood. Then the thugs, and now the sports teams, they went up. Crowley, North Crowley High School won the state championships and all kind of stuff.
All the basketball players,
basketball
all the 6 foot 8 drinking. It's a whole show every night.
Whole thing up there,
Well, who's that college coach? He was like, man, we can't do this, we can't do that. We need some more black guys. I'm just gonna say.
But it's a give and take, man. I learned a lot of stuff being around the hood and my cousin them. You get street knowledge that you can't get in the school system. You couldn't get that if everything was perfect. My stepdad died from a heroin overdose. He was a big time, I don't be like saying some of this stuff. I don't want my mama to feel no type of way, but he was a big time drug dealer, man. He was in the gang, and Jay was, he would do his thing. He knew Snoop Dogg and them before Snoop Dogg and them was big. He used to have he used to be a producer. So he had a studio and everything. And man, he was about that life, man. He kept a shotgun next to the bed. And, we used to always be afraid of him, man. We didn't know if he was going to flash off one night. I remember one night mama burnt all his money. He had some money in the oven, and mama went to preheat the oven, burnt his money up. But when you making money like him, you burn a couple thousand, ain't nothing. You go hustle the next night. But he started using the stuff he was selling. He started using the heroin, and I remember when we were younger, man. He used to put this napkin. He used to put a little tissue in his nose and stick it in one side and do like this.
Oh,
And it's because he was snorting so much that it just took the cartilage out of his nose. So he used to stick the thing through and do that. And we used to be like, "Hey, that's cool," not knowing that he was just sniffing his brains away, and he ended up ODing. And it was sad, man. But you learn a lot through that, man. With adversity comes knowledge and understanding and perseverance. And I think that, like, people walk around and go, white privilege, the privilege. It's like, to be honest, adversity makes you a more well-rounded person than just having privilege or having stuff given to you. It really help you empathize with people. When I was a cop, my aunties and them were crackheads. When I was a cop, I saw a crackhead. I didn't see a degenerate person. I saw my auntie now, and I'm like, when they ain't high, they good. They high right now, so I know they don't mean what they saying right now. I know they ain't really trying to. They caught up. They got a family. They got kids that they really want to do right by, but they caught up on this stuff. But that experience made me a better police officer, man. So
I agree.
Anyway,
I think that's why my bad, bro. I was gonna say that's why Hollywood is doing such a terrible job of representing us. Because you and I know, man, the people at the bottom are just trying to survive by any means necessary. But when you got millions of dollars and you want to slap people on stage, or you a multi-million-dollar rapper and all you want to talk about is killing other black men, how are you helping the community you come from? You the biggest op. If we being honest, how you make it out the hood and then you still bragging about the stuff that got you out the hood, knowing kids are dying from it every day.
Every day. Go ahead, Jericho.
Something I hate is when people say, "Well, there's poverty, so you got to sell drugs. There's no other option. You poor, you got to sell dope. You got to, and it's not just dope. With dope comes the violence, the territory. What are you going to do if they don't have your money? You're going to be looked at as a punk and not do nothing, or are you going to shoot this for whatever?" And they say, "Well, it's because of poverty. There's no job opportunities." But there are plenty of other places with people of different races that are poor, but they are not riddled with crime and filth. I remember my mom was raised in Baltimore, and we went back there, and it seemed they had those row houses, and every house had a little stoop in front of it. And it seemed that every other house had a pile of belongings out in front of the house because somebody got evicted, and there was trash everywhere and vermin, and the streets were all messed up and stuff. And I remember thinking, well, just because you're poor does not mean you have to kill each other. Just because you're poor does not mean that you have to be filthy and live in filth. With the cockroach, cockroaches had to sleep with a sheet over you so the flies didn't land on you.
Hey man, look, we go in the kitchen, turn the light on. There's be 1,000 roaches in there. On God.
Dude, I stepped on one. I turned the light on, the roach ran. I stepped on it, and that thing still got up. I gave it a good one.
I remember we used to go with my cousin in them house, and this is second cousin. My mama didn't have any siblings, so this was my grandmother's sisters. So they were kind of like our second cousin. So we used to go over their house, and they were poor, and they used to have roaches. And the funny thing, well, it's not funny, but we were kids, we didn't care. It was a little weird, that auntie be like, just wipe just rinse it off, the dishes, because they all in the dishes, bro. And I never forget, bro. I used to spend a night over their house, and I used to be like, man, I hope these roaches don't fall off the roof. I was always afraid to go to sleep because I thought the roach would fall off the roof in my mouth. But like my cousin them had to live that life. You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy. Let me tell you this one story. My cousin got a whooping, man. He got beat real bad on this one. Super Bowl Sunday, and we live here in the hood. He throwing this bike chain up in the air. I think that was a thing. They try to catch it on the power line. He throwing a bike chain up. The bike chain hit the power line. Boom! Hit that transformer thing on the head. Oh, bro! People came out their house. Bro, what the? I swear my auntie whooped him for like 2 minutes straight, bro. And that's a long time to be getting whooped. She just pow, pow, pow. She had that switch, but like we grew up around that, but my mom and them wasn't like that. But that's just what it was. And her boyfriend ended up doing a drive-by on her house. And then I remember her two sons, my cousin Mikey and Raymond. And Raymond was a little off. Big old dude, 6'5". He had a 22 shoe. They had to get special shoes for Raymond, and he wasn't all there. But I remember seeing their sister, Raymond and Mikey's sister, dated a guy, and I remember seeing them fight in the living room. And one of her boyfriends had Raymond in the chokehold, and we were all scared because Raymond was big and crazy. And for somebody to be whooping Raymond was like, this is violence, man. But we grew up around that, man, and it was crazy, bro. But let me just say this point, and I want y'all to speak to this. I say a lot of crazy things about the inner city, the community, and in hopes that it will drive people to say, I'm not going to be a victim. I'm not going to play that game. I'm going to be whatever I want to be. I'm going to work hard and work my way out. But I do believe that in a lot of these situations, some of these kids are just completely lost. Like they have no way out. Somebody has to rescue them out, because when you grow up and all you around is drug dealing and thugging and killing and dope boys come in your house all the time, it's hard to get out of that. It's hard.
Hey, I agree 1,000,000%, bro. I'm actually doing a basketball camp this summer for free for the kids in the hood. Because
we're at in St. Louis,
in Kansas City. It's
Kansas City,
a
Missouri.
basketball court. It's from ages 9 to 15, and I'm doing it free for as many kids as possible. I worked at a school for the last 6 years before I start like trying to talk online or whatever, and it let me know how influential I was. I've been covered in tattoos my whole life. I always played basketball, but like you said, when these kids, it ain't the kids don't want better wisdom. It ain't that they want knowledge. Kids ain't never heard of Ralph Waldo Emerson or Napoleon Hill or anything like that. Like all they've heard is murder, 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 kill, kill, kill. So what I learned is I look like the rappers, but I'm telling the kids something productive, and they listening. On last month for Black History Month, I had to talk to some kids in a juvenile detention center. Every one of those little boys' eyes was wide open listening to me, but every teacher hated me. They wanted them to be, you oppressed, you a victim, it's white supremacy. But when I told them boys, hey, make better decisions. Get up early, make a plan, dedicate yourself to what you want to be. When they heard that, when they heard responsibility, it's like they responded to it. Like, ain't nobody ever told me to be responsible in my life. They just told me to blame white people. So that's all they know, literally. You in jail for a double murder. And you was born into this racist white society, and the white man dropped the guns off in your neighborhood, and the white man put the music on the radio, and the white man made the car and the bullets, and you just drove over there. You didn't do nothing. You was just an accessory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to connect with you on that. What date is it?
It's the month of June. Every Wednesday in June, we're doing it.
I want to fly down there, man. I want to help you.
That'd be dope. Because actually, the court, one of my homeboys, he got shot by a cop. So the court is dedicated to him. But so it's like a way for me to like smooth out the hood. Because when I say I done red pilled a lot of people around here, bro, a lot of people. Because I'm really from the hood, but I'm not saying nothing's not true. Just where is truth at for a black man? Like literally, where can you find truth outside of B. Tatum or ABL?
Right, bro. I agree, man. Like, bro, I would have been a leftist dude. I would have been kneeling for the national anthem if I wouldn't have became a police officer. Like if I didn't meet different people and get exposed to cops and do that stuff for real, like with put my own life on the line, like I would have had a different perspective, man. And I really want to give back, man, because I have those experiences. Like I've been there, done that. I grew up around the hood. I say in the hood and around the hood my whole life. We were smoking weed when we were 8 years old. I got arrested when I was 8. We quit smoking. And I tell people in my speeches, I say, we weren't smoking joints, bro. We were smoking blunts. My cousin then were rolling them Swisher blunts like this, and we were smoking our brains out. We were kids, man, and they used to make us fight in the backyard. You know what I'm saying? We were boxing
going body.
They used to be like, oh, bro, who the coldest little cousin? And my other cousin was a little more hood than we were. My mom and them was trying to not make us that way. So we be getting beat up in the backyard, trying to be tough. We got jumped into 5 Deuce Hoover Crip we were kids, man. My cousin jumped us on the couch, me and my brother. He didn't even punch us in the face. He just hitting us in the legs. We on there crying, and you know what I'm saying? But to young people, it's like, I've experienced what you experienced. I know what you've gone through, or I've seen it. I've arrested people, whatever you want to call it. But there's a better way, because we got to teach these people, these young people, stop listening to that stupidity, man. Quit listening to them. Don't worry about no white people. When I was growing up, there wasn't no white people in the hood
at all,
except for crackheads. They going down the street. You like, oh yeah, he here to smoke crack. Are you a police? It wasn't no white people in the hood. I wasn't afraid of white people growing up. You couldn't go on Lil John. The J's come out, and you can put the red shoelaces in it, because there was the white ones with the red on the bottom, and I love red. we were gonna put the red shoelaces in to kind of match it up. My mom was like, "Nah, boy, you must be out your mind. You ain't finna put no red shoelaces in your shoe. Somebody gonna think you out there gang banging, they gonna shoot you." I wouldn't worry about no white supremacist, no Ku Klux Klan member.
Hey, true story, bro. So I had a red and yellow Monty on 22s, right? And I seen my homeboy, and he said, "Damn, Johnny, I didn't know that was your car, bro. I thought about robbing you." And I said, "What?" And he's like, "Well, I know it's." He's like, "I know it's you now, so it's cool." But that's literally the mindset of people. If you got a nice car, if you got some nice shoes, you a lick, you a come up.
Yeah,
And I don't think that happens in white environments, unless I'm mistaken. I don't think white people look at other white people and hit
Nah,
up.
it don't. Like that's why I stay. I don't floss. Like a lot of guys, they want to put on a bunch of stuff and floss. I'm like, why? You hot? You super hot because they just see you as okay. I'm gonna just go get him. Jewelry and stuff like that. I never really was into it because I already knew what the result was going to be. Of that they're gonna take that. Even stuff, Jordans and stuff. That's the way to get robbed too. I just like this all the time. Because I'm not trying to just put myself out there to be a target. That's something I learned just being in the hood.
You know,
I learned
two things you said, Johnny. One thing is when you're telling the kids. I was on a Discord with this dude, and he was a liberal white dude, and all the talking points we hear from the other side, he believed them wholeheartedly. And one of the things we were talking about, he was like, well, how do you think, black people can improve the black community, blah, blah, blah. So I told him, of course, about families. And I said, he's like, but what if, you're working 2 jobs and, you got a family of 4? I was like, well, and he said working like at Wendy's and some other like fast food joint. I said, if you got that many kids and you're working at Wendy's, you made some bad choices. Okay. You should have made better choices. But now if you want to get out, I said, work hard, cut off 2 hours of sleep. Stop doing some BS that you're doing and dedicate it to something you're passionate about to get you out of there. And he just kept saying, well, what if they can't? What if it's not just simple as, work hard and pull yourself up by your bootstraps? I said, if that can work for somebody else, why the hell can't that work for you? Why do we not have an ability to focus and work hard and get the hell up out of our situation? That's how everybody does it. So why are we exempt from that? Why can we not do that? I was like, what do you mean you can't? If you have time in all the 24 hours in a day, sacrifice some of it until you get where you want to be. What's the problem? Everybody else does it. People come here with $12 in their pocket, and in a generation, we're working for them. Their kids are tossing their cap up at some Ivy League school somewhere. So why would hard work for everybody else but us? How about you give it a try? How about try working hard? How about trimming some of the fat from your life until you get what you want? That's how it works. If you work hard, you will win. That's how it's set up. And this white privilege, man, please, the kind of stuff that black kids worry about in some of these bad neighborhoods don't even cross the poorest white kids' mind. They might be thinking about where we're going to sleep, where we're going to eat, but not if I put these shoelaces in my shoes, I could die. That just does not happen.
We used to have church's chicken for dinner and put that same chicken in the cooler and have it for breakfast. That's how poor we was.
Hey, cold chicken
real life.
I'll make a controversial statement. Cold fried chicken might be better, but we can talk about that some other time. But
I remember we would spend the summer with my cousin. We spent a couple weeks with them, and his dad was a drug dealer. He went to prison. He actually got out of prison because of Trump. He got federal time. He got 40 years federal. He went in when he was 50. He was a big time dope dealer. But we used to go over their house, and of course he ain't cooking. He laying up in the bed all day. But they used to order every day. We used to order church's chicken, or we had pizzas. And I just never forget, man. We used to eat chicken every single day. He ate drumsticks, or wings. We had dark meat. He just had them stacked up with the biscuits. And
church is the cheapest.
Church is the cheapest.
Oh,
so
yeah.
But he was feeding all of us. So he had me, my brother, his son, and then my older girl cousin, and then them, and then like some other family members that come over every now and again. So I mean, they feed tons of people all day, and then you eat the chicken in the morning, or they'll order some pizza. But I just remember growing up like that. But let me just tell this story, because I think it's important for people to understand this concept too, is that when you grow up in an environment, it's very difficult for you to get out of it. Like, I just think of the way I grew up and my cousin Mars grew up. His name is Maurice. We call him Mars. The way he grew up. My mom and daddy, me and my brother, we went to college, whatever. We played football, everything. He lost his daddy and his mama and his firstborn son. he lost his daddy to the dope game because his daddy got arrested. SWAT team came and got him. He got sentenced to 40 years. I think it was either before that or after that. My auntie died in a fire. I don't know how she died. I know how she died, but I don't know how it got to that point. Somehow she was in the room. His son was in the house unattended to. And he goes and gets a candle, and I guess he got the candle on a chair, and it's caught on fire, and they both died from smoke inhalation. So my cousin lost his daddy. He lost his father. He lost his mother and his son in a fire. I remember being the armor bearer. The pallbearer, and had to bury his mama and his son at the same time. We had to carry the caskets, and I ain't never seen a kid in a little casket like that. It was horrible, man. And I think about Mars, and I'm like, somebody told me he got fired in his job smoking weed in the bathroom or something. He was doing cars. He was I don't know what you call it. He's selling cars or whatever. And I just could never stop thinking about the fact that a lot of what he's going through and a lot of what he's doing has to do with his environment. How could he live through that? He may want to give up. He may never want, what I got to live for? My daddy in prison for the rest of his life. My mama dead. I watched my first son die. I had to carry him in the casket. All he did at the funeral, he was high. He didn't even cry. He had no emotions. He smoked out his mind. And I want people to understand that too. As much as I talk trash about stuff that go on in the Black community, I do understand that when you put into a certain environment, it's very difficult to get out of it. It's very difficult to see the light when you have no light. How you supposed to see the doorknob and it's dark? That's why we got to be the light. We got to show people, it's a better way. No, you don't have to sell drugs. Quit making that excuse. Because growing up in the hood, I knew a lot of people sold drugs. They didn't have to. They didn't. I ain't never known nobody sell drugs. Maybe one person that was selling drugs because they wanted to make ends meet. All the people I know selling drugs, bro, they balling. You know what I'm saying? They could have got a job, but they wanted to live.
We have enough people
Mama's
singing
boys.
the other tunes. We have enough people singing the victimhood tunes. There's enough people in that choir. There needs to be people telling people how it really is. If you're born in this country, you're already ahead of the game. Our poor people are obese. Our poor people have multiple televisions and vehicles and clothing. You're already ahead of the game when you get being born here is a reparation. Are you kidding me? There are people who did the heavy lifting and the hard work so we can live the life that we live. So there needs to be people telling other people the truth. Not this isn't the movie Don't Be a Menace where there's this nerdy white dude with black gloves leaving them at OJ's house and crossing your name off a list. It's a land of opportunity. As crazy as they're trying to make it, as much as they're trying to blur the lines of boys or girls and you can go to the bathroom and hear, America is still America. If you work hard, you'll get it. Tell me why people risk their lives to come here. It's not because it's racist. It's not because they're going to be persecuted because they're a POC. It's because they know if they got what it takes, they're about to ride. The cream rises to the top.
And that's why
people need to hear that.
I was gonna say, but that's why they took men out the community. Like growing up in the hood, I'm lucky that I grew up with my dad. Like we was on Section 8, so you can't have a man in the house. So every year when they had the Section 8 inspection, we used to hide all my dad's stuff to pretend he didn't live with us. And as I got older, I used to like, man, this is weird. Once a year, we hiding all my daddy's stuff. You got 4 or 5 people walking through with clipboards, looking at everything, trying to just check it. But if I don't have my dad, bro, I don't make it out the hood. I swear because no matter how drunk he got, no matter how much him and my mama fought, every day he got up and went to work. He didn't have a car, rain, snow, everything. He went to work, and he came home 6 days a week. And as a man, even though I knew I had gold teeth, I had rims, I still knew I had to go to work. College was never in my mind, but having a job was always in my mind. And I credit that. So, but I look at all these other boys, and everybody around them is preaching the victimhood mentality. So even though I grew up in that urban environment, I watched this man go to work every day. And so my brain was like, I can go make money on my own. I'm that kid, bro. My mom used to put me on the bike and have me riding around looking for the mailman. Hey, you got my mama's welfare check? Like I come from that type of life. If they had to check, I went back home happy as a fool. But if they didn't have it, I had to go the long way because she was going to be mad. You know what I'm saying? But my daddy, he always worked under the table jobs, bro. Never had a real job. It was always cash, car detailing. And that's why I feel a certain way about immigration, because all the jobs that the Hispanics are working now, my daddy was working there when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. My daddy was taking the seats out and vacuuming and make sure the car was all good so you could sell it for $700 cash, So I just think men would do that if you saw it, but all you see is rappers and NBA players, man. The last thing you about to do is try to really create something out of yourself. And that's why I say every one of us has genius inside of us, but our environment slowly strips it away from us. And by the time you 17, 18, man, you done. Like you said about your cousin, you at a point where you want to break. And, you know, so many people ask me, like, how do you go when you done lost 2 kids, your mom to overdose, how you still going? And it's because of my daddy. I've never seen him quit. And if that man can still get up and go to work every day, I can't see a reason why I can't do it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I love that, man. These young people need to see examples of positive role models that are not just athletes. Like, you know, when I was growing up, I thought NFL was the only way you can make millions. And you know, because it's quick money. You know, you make it quick, and then you ain't got to wait till you're 50, 60 years old and you finally make your millions and you establish something. It's like that quick money. And that's what I thought. And then, like, being around a lot of people now, I realized, like, dang, dude, you can be a billionaire. Like football and these athletes, you know, they make good money. They not making real, well, let me not say real money. According to things that I've seen and people doing other careers, I've been around people who are billionaires. NBA and rappers and stuff ain't making no real money. So it opened my mind, because there used to be the ceiling for me. Oh, if I make it to the NBA, I'm gonna be rich. I'm like, you know, when you move yourself out of that box, you like, oh no, bro. Elon Musk and all these people, that's rich.
Man.
You know, these people are wealthy.
People that go to space.
Yeah, people go. I mean, somebody who created something to go to space before the government, or independent of the government. You like, dude, that one person had the brain power to create, or to put people in place to create this reality. It's like, how much more can we do? You know, how much more can we accomplish the dreams and the goals that we have if we just pursue it? And it's and I'm not gonna say it's gonna be an easy path, but it's easy to do, because there's so many people that don't. There's so many people that make excuses and quit and give up, don't believe in themselves. So when you have a person that's dedicated and do it, it's almost an easier path for you to get to success if you are disciplined and if you believe in yourself. And I just wish young people would, or at least we could help young people. That's why I want to help you with that, because I don't live nowhere near the hood no more, bro. I don't even like driving through the hood. I remember I had to go somewhere. It was a Trump, Women for Trump event. And they like, oh, it's on this address. And I'm like, all right. I drove down there, man. And I'm like, I don't even want to be here.
Sketchy.
Yep.
I don't want to. I don't want to subject myself to getting robbed or something out here. Even though I carry my gun, but I'm like, I don't feel comfortable, man. I'm pumping gas, and I'm like,
yep.
You know, somebody going to run up on me and think I'm somebody else.
And then the thing is, it's like people would try to get offended by that, but I would say, where do you live at? You know, like if you come up in an urban environment, you have to understand they really carjack people. You know, you really. So it's like when people get offended by hearing statements about the inner city, it's, well, have you lived through that? Because someone who lived through it, like, oh, I understand it. But someone who hasn't is going to try to find ways. Oh, that's why he's saying this, or that's why he's saying that. So I don't judge people, but I haven't been fortunate enough to make it out the hood yet. But I'm looking forward to that day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you will.
No, to echo something you said, Johnny, about illegal immigrants. When you are a young man, that's your foot in the door of the workforce. That's when you get your jobs at McDonald's, doing lawns, detailing cars, whatever. You're taking that leap. You're learning what it means to be on time. And you're learning, more importantly, is you're learning that feeling of when you get paid. I remember working hard. My dad had a friend, he had apartments. And when somebody moved out, you got to rip the carpet out, you got to paint and all this stuff. And man, at the end of the day, when he would take that knot out of his pocket and peel me off some money, there are a few feelings like that, man. And young men need to experience, they need to taste that. They need to know what it's like. Yes, I work hard. I got up early. I'm tired. My hands hurt. But when payday comes, I did that. They need that feeling, man. But when they forget kicking the doors open, they took the doors off of the hinges and they are ushering these people in. Those are the jobs they're going to take. And I'm not saying it's the biggest part of the puzzle, but it's a part to the puzzle. And you can't, because you don't speak Spanish, or because this isn't your neighborhood anymore, Maxine Waters. You allow these people to gentrify these neighborhoods. You allow them to come up here and kick these black folks out. So what was once your neighborhood and what felt like your home is no longer. You can't read the signs. You can't speak the language. So you can't get into that workforce. Your entry-level job is taken. It's no longer there. So when they say they're taking our jobs, Yeah, they're taking our jobs. And the people who are supposed to be looking out for us, ensuring that we have those jobs, are giving those jobs away right under us. But yes, young people need to know from an early age, I need to do something. I need to produce.
100%. And you know, it's up to us, man. Like Johnny, I like that you just keep it real, man. That's how you grow, and people need to, like, we all have a responsibility, man. You know, it's like when you go out and you do mission work, right? Your missionaries go to a foreign land or wherever they go, and they raise up leaders in that land and they leave. Missionaries don't go and stay. Typically, they don't go and stay. They go to a place, they raise up leaders and that stuff, and they leave. But the people who live there, the people who are a part of that community, they are the ones that have the most level of influence. And so, but you know, I think it's great, man. I think, you know, I want you to move out the hood, but you know,
looking forward to it.
Why you there? And anybody who ever lived in or around the hood, they know it's these fake light-skinned dudes. No, just you know, when I say light-skinned dude, I mean these people who are black, but they never really experienced the experience that they claim that they're, you know, standing up for. They never really experienced, and they feel some type of way, so they have to overcompensate. It's like if you ever lived in a community where a dude's trying to punk you at the store and stuff, you like, or somebody getting a drive, you know, somebody getting a shooting at Zoom In, which is right down the street from where we live. At Zoom In, I mean, there's a level of fear where you just like, dude, I could be next out here on something stupid, like just somebody looking at me wrong. They'll shoot and kill you, bro. And I was young, I ain't had no gun because I wasn't old enough to have a gun. I couldn't carry a gun. I'd be illegally carrying a gun. But the dudes that didn't care, they were my age and they were strapped, you know. So that's why now, like, and I don't want to hear nobody be like, see, you know, you ain't in the hood. Nah, bro. These rappers be getting murdered in their own hood out there in Memphis. What's the kid name? Young Dolph. I went to Memphis to speak not too long ago. I'm in the Uber driver, and the Uber driver, I was talking to him about Young Dolph. He's like, oh yeah, I know he was well respected, man. It was sad what he did. He died right over there. And I'm like, go around this way, bro. Don't take me that way. I don't know what they over here doing in there.
I was gonna say, to piggyback off what you said, bro, with like a Young Dolph or a Nipsey Hussle, the problem with individuals like that is you only know the good work they doing if you live in those communities, right? But 30 years after they both been dead, all you know is their music. You won't know that Young Dolph was trying to build a school in the hood. You won't know how good Crenshaw and Slauson looked. You will just know, oh, they both talked about murdering other black men, and Young Dolph made a song called 100 Shots. They got what they deserved. And every time I walk in my house, bro, I'm a walking resume, but I'm also a role model for every black kid. And I got to accept that responsibility, whether I like it or not. And if we all know that, then we not painting a negative perspective of ourselves and then getting upset when someone else doesn't respect us.
Right.
Yep. Growing up, you know, I grew up in the 90s, you know, when I was an adolescent, a teenager and stuff. So, you know, there was plenty of bad music out there. Too Short, Brother Lynch. If you're not from California, he's from Sacramento. He'd be talking the craziest, most violent stuff you've ever heard in your life. But I had a home where, number one, I knew I couldn't bring it in the house. If my parents caught me listening to that, it's a wrap. And number two, I knew that lifestyle wasn't right. I knew it wasn't glorified to me. Now, there was some like, wow, man, people are really living this, but I never wanted to duplicate that in my life. I never wanted to act that stuff out. I never wanted any part of that because I had two parents in my home that wouldn't be having it. So I heard that stuff, but I never let it influence me because I had people who love me letting me know that that's not the way things should be. But when you are getting it from all angles, and even in your own home, to where if you try to do something right, why are you talking like that? Why are you dressing like that? Were you trying to be white? When you're getting that from your family, when you're getting that from your peers, I mean, and you're getting that on TV, everybody's telling you, no, this is how you got to be black, and you're oppressed. And if you talk like this, not only if you talk like this or believe these things, are you acting white, but you're a traitor. You're a traitor to your race. So when you're constantly beat upside the head with that, I mean, it takes a very strong and a very special person to rise above it and want to do something better. But unfortunately, I think most kids just succumb to the pressure and become what, you know, some members of society think they're supposed to be. We look at them and say, see, that I told you. But when they have that opportunity, when they have that curiosity to do better, it needs to be It needs to be cultivated. It needs to be protected. It needs to be supported, not beat out of them. And that's, that's another thing we have to overcome before, we can make that better, is to not beat greatness and beat the want to be better out of young people.
Yeah, and I think that comes from collaborating. Like, I don't think life is a competition. Everybody can be great and everybody can work together. But to say that people don't pull guns on you for any reason, bro, I've had so many guns in my face just for beating people at basketball. I'm talking not being rude, not being disrespectful, but simply I can hoop. I went to a different environment. I'd have been on 31st. I'd have been on 27th Street. I'd have been on Independence Avenue. I'd have been on 68th. So we can say that that doesn't happen. But I'm telling you, we done been on the court and they drive down the street and they hanging out the car with guns. And you make a choice. Do you hop on the ground or do you keep playing?
This dude right here, that's why I put this comment up here, because people, they just be, I don't know what, maybe he live in the foothills or something, but I don't know if he's joking, if it's sarcasm or is he serious, but I'm gonna address this, because he said, "Nah, ain't nobody finna shoot and kill you in the hood just for looking at them." Okay, we all have personal. I didn't have people pull up on me at a light and just check me, man. They like, what you looking at? They looking at me and I don't even want to look. I'm like, I already know what these dudes trying to do. And I look over, what you looking at, bro?
Especially if they get that 5% tent.
They want to start something with you, bro, and punk you in front of everybody. And so, they gonna punk me because I ain't trying to die. But anyway, let me show you this real quick. It just took me like 2 seconds to look this up. They ain't gonna kill you and shoot you in the hood. Watch this. I'm gonna show you this little it ain't a clip, but it's just an article. They ain't gonna shoot you in the hood. This man is accused of shooting and killing a 17-year-old man for smiling and looking at him.
There you go, right there.
This is one example. And I just said, man, it's 100 of these. Just because people they mind ain't right. You look at them the wrong way. I remember I almost got into a fight with a dude at the it was at the mall. We were at the mall. And I'm walking through. I'm looking at this girl because I'm in this. It's a weird little setup. You have to be at the mall. It's a part that you sit on that you can look at the ice ring, and then you turn this way. The rest of the mall is behind you on the second level. So I'm sitting in the ice ring thing, and I see a fine girl walk by. Right, so I'm looking at this girl. I'm just, I'm too shy to talk to her, but I'm looking. This random dude, him and this girl, I guess, walked in front of where I'm looking at. He want to fight me because he said I'm looking at his girl. Now, stuff like that escalate. Because this is in front of everybody. And I'm like, he ain't finna punk me. So I say, what's up? Let's throw the hands. And then some people broke us up and we never end up fighting. But bro, you can't say that people, in the hood, it's that animosity in I don't know what it's like to live in a white community. Well, the communities I grew up in, dudes will fight you over nothing. Dudes would, he thought I was looking at his girl, which if I was, bro, you gonna fight me because you think I looked at and I can't look at your girl. You know what I'm saying? But that stuff is real, man. And people like whoever the guy is, Marcus, I don't know what community he grew up in, but
it's lying. That's all. Because at the end of the day, I mean, we know what goes on. We know that you look at somebody, or the ultimate thing, stepping up somebody's shoes in the club, that'll get you murdered ASAP. Small little things, because I think part of it is if you don't do something, then other people who are also ignorant, they're gonna think, oh, you let them do that. Let them step in your shoes. Let them just look at you any kind of way. You don't let them do that. So now it becomes kind of a domino effect. And if you don't do nothing, now you got to do something to them. So it's a whole toxic culture that's there. The whole looking at you thing, that's just one piece of the toxic culture. It's not just that.
Yeah, I went to school in a predominantly Mexican town called Castroville. And there's some hood parts of Castroville. I remember being at a New Year's party and somebody's gun went off. It fell out of his pant leg and went off while everybody was dancing. So why you'd have a loaded gun in your waist?
Plexico burst. That's right.
You are not Riggs from Lethal Weapon, but
Riggs.
I was Riggs. I remember I was on the bus, man, in high school, and this dude, his hat was like this. Right? He's getting off the bus. And just being sarcastic, I was like, hey man, your hat's crooked. He's like, what, fool? Like, beanie down, what's up, eh? Like, little joker, eh? And I was like, what? I was like, I'm just messing with you, dog. He's like, no, hey, tomorrow. So the next day, I get off the bus. He wanted some. I gave him a 2-piece with no biscuit, right? So the next day, I'm at my bus stop, and I see this must have been an 87 Buick Regal, the little Daytons and everything. It's parked right there. And this dude gets out. He's like, "What's up, babe?" And he comes up to me. He has Castroville tattooed on his neck. He has XIV on one eyelid. He has Castro on the other eyelid. And Castroville is the artichoke capital of the world. So he has the artichoke right here, the alcachofa right here. Be careful. So he comes up to me, and his little cousin over there that I smashed the day before, he's kind of in the back. And he gets right up here in my face. So I heard you don't like Mexicans. Hey, what, fool? I'm like, bro, come on, man. I was like, what do you mean I don't like Mexicans? What are you talking about? So he's like, hey, you going to fight him again, bro? And the guy's like, no, I don't want nothing. And so they hop in the Regal. And they take off. And so I get to school later that morning. I was like, what's up, man? Where's little Joker at? Now it's just me and you. What's up? Oh, no, bro. I don't want to fight. It's cool, eh? But all of that, and his cousin had a screwdriver on him. So I potentially could have been stuck because I just made a little, hey, your hat's crooked. You know, little Chris Rock level joke. It was nothing. But he took it as disrespect, and he was ready, to have his cousin do something to me. So, yeah, that is real, man. When you got that mentality and you don't respect life, yeah, you'll do that. It's almost like they're looking for a situation to prove how hard they are. And if they got to stick some high school kid to do it, yeah, they will.
Yeah, we know about this. There's gang affiliation stuff too. Like people, they get jumped in the gang or they got to do stuff to be in the gang. And so they kill people for no reason. I heard stories about them doing this in Chicago. These dudes get initiated in this gang and they got to go out and shoot people to be a part of the, to be official and stuff like that.
Here.
I think who that person is. He must just want to start mess, bro. I didn't heard they do all kind of stuff like that. Then they get the teardrops and they can, they cool.
Well, in New York, they got the $150 where you cut somebody's face and give them 150 stitches. That's disgusting. That's an animalistic culture, man. That's crazy.
I want to shout out to Guitar Flyer. He said he want to donate $200 to Johnnie to help feed them children or for his basketball camp. So
appreciate you.
I'm gonna make sure you get that, Johnnie. And we're gonna talk afterwards because I want to see what's all going on there. But anyway, we've been running our mouth for almost 2 hours now. Great conversation, man. I want you guys to give a shout out where people can find you and all the good stuff like that. I'm gonna start with Johnnie since he new to the channel. Johnnie, tell the people where they can follow you on your social media. If you got merch or whatever you got, give them a shout out. Even the boys thing, if you got some information for them where they can donate, just throw it out there.
No, I ain't got no merch. I'm dummy new to this. On God, Instagram Johnnie Calloway Senior, YouTube Johnnie Calloway Senior, and that's it, man. I'm a full-time father. That's really the highest human act is to inspire, and a lot of things are coming in the future. I have big plans. Truthfully, when I started my Instagram, no lie, the first person I ever DM'd was Candace Owens, and I said I'm gonna be on your show one day because Culture played me too. So we all gonna rap, man. But I understand the heart of the inner city, man. I'm what the world needs in a crazy way.
Have you been on her show yet?
I haven't. I've never talked to her. I sent her a DM probably like 2 years ago. I know she never saw it. She dummy popular, but we're going to link up, man. My daughter thinks she's God. My daughter love her.
Oh, that's awesome, bro. I can probably pull some strings, man.
All right, good looking.
Yeah, Jericho.
Yeah, you might have a number or something.
Yeah, Jericho. What you got, bro? Where can they find you at?
Hey,
was you done, Johnnie? I'm sorry. Was you done? Johnnie?
Yeah, no, you good, man. I just want to say, hey, thanks for the opportunity of being on the show, bro. I've never met you. You dummy popular. I know everybody has a perception of who Brandon Tatum is or who Officer Tatum, but you good in my book, Brody. ABL as well. I've seen you as well. I've never heard Jericho, but seen him as well. But man, just to have conversations with like minds and to see that every black man doesn't have to be monolithic, it's dope to me. So I hope this keeps growing and we link up again on a different frequency in life, man.
100%.
Hey, as usual, thank you, B. Tatum, for having me. ABL, man, you know how we do. Johnnie, pleasure to be on here with you and meet you, man, and hear some of your story. And no BS, man, you need to write a book. But Jericho Green on YouTube at JG Talk on the gram until I get suspended again. JerichoGreen.net. But if you get me on YouTube, the description box, the link tree and all that. That's where you find everything, man. But, always a pleasure to be on here with B. Tatum. And speaking from somebody who's met him in real life, and same with ABL, we met at B. Tatum's book signing. There's no difference. It's seamless. What you see here that's how they are in life, man. And like Johnny was saying, it shouldn't be such a breath of fresh air. We should be able to speak freely with their ideas, but it is nice to be around like-minded folk and speak without being, painted with some insane ist or phobe or sellout or something like that. So for sure, man. Thank you.
Yeah, I got a Cash App. I can shoot it to Tatum. I'm not sure how I get that out there, but yeah, I got one. Or if I just say it, I don't know. How.
Just say
Yeah,
it.
you can say it. Say it on there. Say it on there. If nice, you got some Cash App is Johnny John 555.
It ain't nothing hood like that. I promise.
Nah, I mean, so if it's simple enough where people can get it, yeah,
it's just JMCALLOWAY.
Say it again,
JMCALLOWAY. So for Johnny, Maurice, my middle name, JM, and then Calloway.
Ooh, there you go, boom. So if y'all want to support Johnny, go ahead and throw that change to him. Yeah, Sky got it right here. So if y'all want to support, man. But yeah, we're gonna talk offline, man. I wanna, my wife, we always trying to give back and stuff like that. So we would love to see, because there's a lot of things that you do. You can donate to church, you can do things like that, which we do a lot of that. But it's good to try to donate time and also donate to causes that you can physically see happening right in front of your eyes. Like if I donate this amount, this feeds all the kids. Or if I donate this amount, this is how you get the basketballs or rent the facility. Like I like doing stuff like that where you can see tangibly what I've donated, how it has a actual effect versus, donating to a charity and you're like, man, that probably went to marketing. You know what I'm saying? It didn't go to what I asked them to do with it. But anyway, ABL, where they find you at ABL?
The best way is to search ABL right there. Just search that on YouTube. I'll come right on up. Subscribe to me if you're not subscribed yet. Also, go to the website, AnthonyBLogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. For every video I do, I write an article about it. So my source is always there in the article. So fact check me there. Also, go to the contact page from my Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can also send me an email, snail mail. All that stuff is on the website, AnthonyBLogan.com. Get the merch at ABLmerch.com. I talked to my supplier today. I got some brand new hot merch coming. So go to ABLmerch.com. Bookmark it. Go there every day. Check out the new updates. That's all I got.
Hey, Johnny, what you will learn being on here with ABL is you always got to step up your platform game. ABL is everywhere.
I see, man. I got to get up on the merch game. I got to holler at y'all, see what I need to do to start my own, but also rock some of y'all so we can, I'll do the modeling thing. I've been modeling for some years, so I'm down to rock y'all merch,
I got you, bro. I got you, man. We'll get you straight. But I appreciate everybody being on here, man. Thank y'all for watching. Every Thursday we're going to try to do it. Sorry for the beginning of the video where we came in a little late. For some reason, I had trouble with the StreamYard saying that my video was taken up by another app, and I had to restart the computer, and it finally worked. Thank God. Last time it was messed up like that for like weeks. So I thank y'all for y'all patience. I appreciate it. Much love. Y'all follow everybody on the channel. I forgot to say, if this is your first time watching me, it's The Officer Tatum on everything. TheOfficerTatum.com is my website. You can find my podcast, everything on there. The Officer Tatum store. It's where you can get this shirt. I think we didn't sold out of this shirt, most of them. So get on there. I think we got some smalls and mediums left. But The Officer Tatum store, my link always in the description section. Eventually, I'm gonna get it to where when we go live like this, everybody submit their links and we'll put it in there. Matter of fact, we'll do it afterwards. So if y'all could, when you get off the live stream, just submit your links to Sky, and then we'll put it on the thing. So when people watch, they can see your links already. They don't have to wait for you to say it. But I appreciate y'all being on. Y'all stay in the background. I love all of y'all on the YouTube sphere. We'll see y'all on the next one. We out.
Peace.